Hello, everybody. This is Mike, the Caesar of concessions. I have a wonderful special guest. Today, we're going to be interviewing Dania from Lola's Lemonade. As you see, we got her picture right here, and this is her and her company. She's in a trailer, and we're going to delve into Dania's life and talk to her about her vending experience. Dania, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you.
Oh, I'm glad to be on.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Like, what gave you the thought or the idea to even vend lemonade?
I have always wanted to do some type of vending. I've always been obsessed with like food trailers. I was always kind of scared to do it just because it seems like overwhelming at first. And then I was actually on TikTok because I'm always on TikTok, and I saw someone doing a lemonade trailer. And she kind of broke it down, like how she did it, and then I did a lot more research, and so I kind of just spiraled off of one single TikTok that I watched and brought it to my parents, and I was like, "Would y'all want to help me figure out how to do this?" And so then I kind of just jumped in.
That's awesome. So you just like went right into it. So how long have you been doing it right now?
We started in August of 2022, so I believe that's about 15 months, somewhere in there.
Uh huh. And like, did you go like full time into it, or did you kind of like, are you part time like when you started? Like, how did you like initially get it off the ground?
I definitely eased into it. We didn't have a lot of upfront money to put into the business, so we knew
Mhm.
that we would just be doing it mostly on the weekends, which luckily that's usually when most bigger events take place. So we got our tent set up and just kind of went from there
So
and
you,
did part
I'm
time.
sorry. So you started in a tent, huh?
Yes, we were in a tent until June of 2023. So we were in a tent for about 10 months.
Okay. Um. So why the move from a tent to
Uh
a trailer?
Mostly health department regulations and setup and tear down time. So as far as like our health department, obviously everyone is different, but for us, we have to pay a fee for the health department to inspect us every time you set up a tent
Mm.
versus if you have a trailer, you get inspected and you're good to go for a year. I mean, obviously they can come in and check you, but you're not paying a fee. And it's a lot easier to set up a tent. Setup time was taking us about an hour, and that was with 3 people getting everything ready to go. The trailer, I can set it up by myself within less than 30 minutes.
Do you do a lot of events like by yourself, or how does that? I guess it depends upon the volume, huh, of what the event
It
might
def
be.
it does definitely depend on volume. I usually like to have no less than 2 people, simply because if I need someone to go run and do something for me, like, I can't tell you how many times I've miscalculated how much ice I would need. Maybe I thought it was gonna be a smaller event, and it turned out to be very large volume. So
Right.
I ended up having to send someone on an ice run. So I do quite a few on my own, if I know that I'm not gonna be super slammed, and I try and only do the ones on my own that we set up, at a certain site near in our town, and I've done it so much that I kinda gauge. I know how much ice, how many lemons, all that I'm gonna go through, so I'm comfortable doing that by myself, but ideally, I like to have 2 people.
All right. So do you remember your first event? Like
I
the
do
very
remember my
first
first.
one you did? All right.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about it?
It was terrifying. I didn't really know
Right.
what to expect. Obviously, we had set everything up before, like we set it up in our yard, kind of walk through how we were gonna set it up and everything. But until you're really in it, you don't know what you're getting into. You just kind of jump in feet first, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had, luckily, it was a good first event. I mean, it wasn't super intense. We still had good sales, but it was definitely a good first event, giving us that experience and trial and error and everything like that. Figuring out what was the best way to, because at that point we were still in a tent, figuring out how to pack the trailer or pack the truck with everything, figuring out what we needed to bring, how much of what we needed to bring, everything like that. It was definitely a learning experience.
All right. So I've noticed your name, Dania, but your trailer or your company name is Lolas. So what's the story behind the company name?
Lola is my daughter's name. So I had my daughter in August of 2022 when we opened. I had her August 3rd, and I believe we had our licensing for tent setup and everything like August 20th something. So we opened it like right when I had her, and it's also my great grandma's name. So it was just kind of like a family
Oh,
name, and it rolled off. We were just trying to think of something to name it, and I thought it was super cute. And so I also like use my daughter for advertisement, and people love it because everybody loves a picture of a baby. So
yeah. I think that's great marketing. Just be able to use your wonderful children to help your own family business. That's awesome.
oh yeah,
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
and at first I took her with me whenever we did like smaller events, because the first end of the summer when we got into it, we didn't have big events. We didn't really get into any. So I always took her with me. So she was always like, I wore her like on my back or something whenever she was a newborn, and she went with me everywhere. So people were like, "Who's Lola?" I'd be like, "She's on my back."
Oh, that's, so you worked with the kid on your back?
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier than it sounds whenever they're real little. Now, my 4-year-old, I can't take him anywhere. He's no help. But whenever they're babies, I can work with them. They just stay. I carry them, and they hardly make a sound.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Dana, that's incredible. I love that. Okay, so we've been in about 15 months. What's a big lesson you think you've learned so far in your journey?
Um, Probably that the higher cost of a vendor fee doesn't always equal higher sales. Um, we've done events where it was $500 to get in and hardly made any of it back. We thought it would be a good event, and it wasn't. And then we've done events where we paid $10 to be there and sold out of everything. So definitely, I guess research wise, you really have to research the events, what's worth doing, what's not worth doing. And it's also a lot of you don't know until you're there. So like we did events last year that we knew were good, so we went back this year. And that's probably my biggest one, is learning that the higher the vendor fee doesn't always equal higher sales.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely true, and nothing you can do about it until you get there, right? Then you just take them off the schedule next year
Yep.
for sure. Okay, I noticed, and I know a lot of people in lemonade slingers have noticed how incredibly creative you are. It impressed me, and one of the reasons, like, I was like, I need to talk to her. What, like, how do you? I guess let's start here. How do you come up with the ideas?
I just try and think of stuff that'll set us apart from the competition. I've learned that Another lesson I've learned is, even if you're told there's not another lemonade vendor at an event, you can get there and there'll be 3 other lemonade vendors at events. It's just kind of something
Right.
you have to roll with, something I've accepted. So I really started after we got our footing thinking, what could I come up with that would set us apart? And a lot of that is just different drink ideas, different ways of branding. One of the ways we really set ourselves apart is renovating a horse trailer. There's a lot of pros and cons that I guess I could get into if you wanted me to, of having a horse trailer, but having that trailer really sets us apart from several other. I mean, if you see a box trailer and a horse trailer, people just walk towards a horse trailer because they want to see what it is. And then they
That's
see all our
yeah.
different Yeah, and then they see all our different drink options. I really try and have like a specialty drink that is limited time. So whenever the Barbie movie came out, I did the Barbie,
Mm-hmm.
and girls loved it, and they would fit for their moms to buy them a drink. I would even I really try and have like a social media follow. And so I really promoted the bar drink, and wherever we would set up in town, somebody would come find us and say, had to have a Barbie drink. Or during Halloween, we did Boominades. And little kids freaked out over the boom. I made a specific sign in front of the trailer, and I didn't even know what was in it, but they just wanted it. And so, as far as there was a lemonade vendor event, it was our best event we ever did. And they were straight across from us, but we outsold them 10 at least because B, we had the Boominade sign that went ballistic presentation general.
Okay, that's awesome. So, can we talk about the trailer for a second? Are you okay with
Oh
that?
yeah. Yeah.
So, you brought up, box trailer and then the horse trailer. Why the horse trailer?
Um Honestly, just the uniqueness of it. And it, as far as, because people are always like, I'm sure it was a lot less money to renovate. It really wasn't. It was pretty similar in price. I mean, we maybe saved a little bit of money doing it through a horse trailer, but it's really just an eye catcher, honestly. Like, that's what I wanted to do from the beginning. Whenever going back to the very beginning, that TikTok I seen, she did it out of a horse trailer, and it just draws people in. We're actually redoing another trailer over the winter that we just bought. It's a camper, they're like a retro camper, because I want to stick with like the unique trailers. That even gets us into more events, because
Interesting.
we that one going back to that one where I said it was our best event we ever did. We only got in because we had a horse trailer, because she said no, we're full on vendors. And then my mom said, "Oh well, we have a horse trailer." She said a horse trailer, and she wanted us to send her a picture. We sent her a picture, and she let us in because she thought it was cute and unique. And so it does get us into a lot of events, and it's smaller, which is a pro and a con. So we've gotten into events too because they didn't have room for, a 25-foot trailer, but they had room for a little 12-foot trailer. So, um,
Wow.
there's a lot of pros to it, but there's also several cons. And it didn't take us that long to renovate, honestly. Well, I say that we worked nonstop on it. And we got it June 3rd of this year, and we were licensed, and it was a complete horse trailer when we got it. June 3rd, we got it. By June 27th, it was completely renovated and licensed by the health department.
Wow. Well, you guys
So,
definitely put some hours in on that.
oh yeah, we worked. My dad works a full-time job, and then I have two. He's the one who I worked on it with, and then I have two kids. And so it was a lot of, he would, as soon as he got off work, he would come. We redid it at his house. I would just meet him at the house. I would try and work on it whenever he was at work. And so it was a lot of like, get home at 5 o'clock, don't leave, stop working on the horse trailer till 11 o'clock at night. We wanted it done by the 4th of July because we had a lot of events that it was just going to be so hard setting the tent up, tearing the tent down. We have multi-day events, and so we really slid by the skin of our teeth getting that trailer done.
That's incredible. All right. So, we've been in business since August 22nd, right, of last year, and you went to the tent, you got the trailer. What what does the future look like for Lola's Lemonades? Like when you think about it, what you want for your future of your company, what do you see?
I want it to be a bigger family business. So right now the plan is we have the horse trailer, we're redoing the camper, build another trailer, and I have a sister who's gonna be who's 12 now, but she starts working in Lemonade. That we want her to like be able to have her own trailer in 16 and be able to go do events. We want to have multiple trailers. We have events where people want us to come, but we can't book because we only have one. So I want to keep growing and just kind of keep adding where I have these that I just kind of manage. I like to have a couple different trailers. Stick with like the unique ones, the trailer, the renovated camper, things like that are eye catchers. So it's kind of on brand with, oh, there's a unique looking trailer, and then it says Lolas, and they say, oh,
Yeah, I love that you got future goals and plans. Now, are you going to sell different food? Are you just going to stick with lemonade only?
Lemonade is one of those is like one of the best products to me because the markup is so good. The out the door we timed ourselves and I can get a lemonade out the door in I think it was 36 seconds. Was the fastest
Dang.
we got one out the window. And yeah, I timed myself at an event and I said, "Time me how long it takes from the order to the." So I was slicing it, and one of the customers said, "Come on, you got to beat your time. I'll order another one." So it's really, one of those things that you don't have to have the customer standing there for a really long time. I would like to add a food. I've looked at adding pretzels. I've actually watched a couple of your videos about different foods you can add, and I do think we may add pretzels next year in the camper that we're going to renovate because the horse trailer is just a little too small to add any more equipment into. As much as I
Hmm.
love it, again, one of those cons is space. So it's perfect for lemonade, but anything else is just kind of squished. So I think that we may add pretzels in the future. And we're also this we started doing hot cocoa. That does really good.
I,
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
On the hot cocoa that you're doing. So, are you just? I don't know where you live. Are you just transforming from lemonade to hot cocoa as the temperature changes where you live? I don't know how dramatic, like here in Kansas City, it's cold, right? Like right now it's 40 degrees and was a low like 30, and it's going to be this way until April. So what is that like
So
for you?
we're in Oklahoma, so the seasons
Okay,
change daily. Um, it was 80 one day last week and then 30 the next day. It's
but you
so
guys will
dramatic.
still get some cold weather. Okay, so yeah, you're not too far off from me then. I mean, you're
Yeah,
still going to
no.
get some cold weather.
Yeah, but it could also I think it was a year or two ago on Christmas, it was like 85, and then
Holy
it snowed like a
smokes!
week later. It's so crazy how it just switches. I initially was gonna completely transform the trailer, and we used magnets on our trailer, like, for our, logos and for this Fresh Squeezed Lemonade so that we could take them off and put new ones on because I thought we were gonna completely go hot chocolate, but we 35 and down rain we did an event because we signed up for it and I really get in with this event coordinator and keep doing her event so I didn't want to cancel on her. So we still went and it 35 pouring down rain and we still sold half lemon
Whoa.
chocolate. Still a good seller for people who don't like cold drinks, but if someone likes a lemonade they're still going to buy lemonade no matter what temperature.
Okay, I love it.
So
So
I think that we definitely change a little season. I think I added hot chocolate about 3 weeks ago. And I just kind of go how the weather's going. If it's 85 degrees, I know I'm not going to sell any hot chocolate, so I don't bring it. But if
mhm,
it's 50, 60, then I do go ahead and bring it.
I got you. So out of everything you've done, what do you think has been your biggest victory so far?
Um, Probably being so busy that we need to add a second trailer.
That's
The
amazing.
fact that we use the tent setup right now as our secondary, uh, I guess, setup. We
Mhm.
did do event where we had a huge event and then we had another event we needed to do, so we had to have two setups. And being that, excuse me, being that booked that we had to have two setups was really impressive to me.
That is awesome. I really want to appreciate you taking time out of your day to do this interview with me. Um, and yeah, I really appreciate you. And I think people are going to love to hear your story.
Well, I'm happy to share. I always love helping people. I have a TikTok where I share my recipes, I share the trailer and any questions people have to ask because I think there's room for everyone. I know some people are really competitive and things like that. But I definitely think there's room for everyone in the uh, food vending area. Even if you don't do lemonade, a lot of people come to my TikTok and they say, I'm not doing lemonade, but like your horse trailer idea is perfect for selling baked goods, things like that. So I just like helping people because I think that we can all succeed together.
I agree with that. Yeah, but there's always a what do you call it, bad apple in a bunch somewhere, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter. Well, I'm gonna just thank you again, and I really appreciate you, and I'm sure we'll be talking again in Lemonade Slingers rather soon.
Oh yeah, I love that group.
It is good. It's a good group. All right, Dana. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.